Hi everybody, my name is Rob and I'm in group 2 and I'm working with Haley and Steve and we are covering chapters 3 and 4 today in our textbooks. Chapter 3 starts off talking about self-concept. What is that? That is when you ask yourself, who am I? And then you begin to make a list of the things that make you who you are. Your likes, your dislikes, values, roles, cultural base, religious beliefs, all these things and much, much more make you who you are. This list, as it grows, it gets items on it. Each item has a value. These values are self-worth, have a self-worth to you, and are created by your self-esteem. Another big part of self-concept is reflected appraisal. This is how you view yourself by the way others view you. Most of your self-evaluations that you'll do while creating your self-concept are based off of what others think. Some things are fact, uh, that you'll come up with. Maybe you're tall, maybe you're short, but even these things are based off of what others think. Somebody in a social group decides that this is average, so everybody above that is tall, which makes tall people stand out. Um, a big part of that is, self-fulfilling prophecy. How you feel about yourself. Maybe you're nervous when authority figures, like the example in the book, and when you go to an interview, you get all flustered and you goof the interview, and then the people decide you're not what they're looking for, and you walk out there going, knew that was going to happen. Use in your self-concept. Perception is talked about in chapter 3 as well, and perception
is big. From day one, we receive a lot of different stimuli, and in order for us to function, we have to be able to process that. So the process starts by selection. We decide what we're going to receive, and then we have to organize that information, and we have to interpret that information so that it makes sense for us. This is done on a daily basis, every second of every day. A good example would be a bunch of people talking and you're trying to listen to everything and it's really difficult, but then somebody speaks in a much louder tone of voice and it takes charge of the conversation and that gets your attention. Now you are selecting that information. You're going to organize it so that it makes sense and interpret it for yourself. Um, Another big part of Chapter 3 was identity management, public self image or identity versus private identity. Private identity is something that you don't share with everybody else. It's who you are that you keep to yourself or when you're alone or at home. Your public identity is that self that you portray to the rest of the world. Some of it is conscious, some is unconscious, but most of it is something we're taught from day one. From very young age, we are taught to go out and act proper in public. Um, Going off into chapter 4, language. Language is considered symbolic. Language is how we express the experiences that we go through and have throughout our lives. There are many rules to language. There are phonological, syntactic, semantic, pragmatic. Language and attitudes have a lot to do. The strength of your words, power words, using a confidence in them. Powerless words, staggering, yeah, sure, I guess, words like that. Then you have attraction words where that can be an issue where you say those people versus let's help these people. Responsibility words, you upset me instead of I get upset, claiming responsibility or not. Then you got troublesome language. These are your relative words, which only have a value when they're compared to something. Your slang, like bling or fat or nice. Certain words that they have on their own, like police say perp. Surfers say drop in and curl and gnarly. All those things make up different types of slang and jargon. And then you have the gender and language. How men talk to men talk to women talk to women. There's also A cultural difference, a lot of cultural barriers. Japanese often say sorry to keep a harmony going, where in America, when you have a problem and say sorry, it's more of an admittance of guilt. All these things could be issues, and that is all covered in Chapter 4. Thank you very much.